Alright, so I got an update from the last video. If anybody ever watches these, I don't know. But, man, I'm actually feeling pretty good, man. Not because my life got better. It didn't. But because I remember when I joined the Army, which was not an illustrious career. It was not a long career. It was not even worth talking about because I was super immature and, I made it through my AIT and got myself chaptered out. I was 19 at the time, young, dumb, and very impulsive. Learning lessons, man. I don't regret it anymore because life happens the way it's supposed to. But from the last video, I was given rides on Lyft. I think I mentioned I was a Lyft driver, and what had happened was come Monday, I was trying to work off the debt that I owed Lyft, and I did my rides, thought it was a good night, was in a good mood that day despite everything that's going on. I'm still under threat of eviction, I'm still behind on my rent, still have no AC, no water, massive pest control problem, mold growing in my apartment, all that on top of everything. But come Tuesday, I'd gotten off work, I'd put a 12-hour shift in, I was tired, and I was just unwinding. It was like 11 o'clock in the morning, and been home for a couple of hours, and I get a notification on my phone from Lyft, and Lyft tells me my account is on hold. And I'm like, why is my account on hold? So I go into the chat and I look into it, and basically one of my passengers had made a claim. The worst claim. The claim all men fear. Okay. She said I made inappropriate comments and I touched her leg without her consent. Now, when I tried to get more information on this, the first thing I said was I've never done anything like this before in my life, and I have never done anything like this before in my life. But the first thing that they said is they can't give any information on the passenger. They can't tell me what ride it was. They can't tell me when the ride took place. They can't tell me how long the ride was. They can't tell me anything. I don't know anything. Now, what's interesting about this situation before I continue is my rating, thanks to you passengers, rating me unfairly, had dropped down to a 4.89. Hold on. Sorry, I had to pause the video because people interrupting the video. Anyway, so my rating had dropped down to a 4.89. At the time that this allegation was made, my rating was still a 4.89. So she never dinged my rating, which means one of two things. Either this wasn't her account and it was somebody who had given her a ride or ordered a ride for her, or she just never thought about it. I'm leaning towards the former. Okay, because if you're going to make a claim like this, aren't you going to go all the way? Now, there's only one person that I can think of that I gave a ride to who did not order it themselves. Okay, so if it's that person, I have a sneaking suspicion who it is, and I realize whether or not it's the actual person that you're giving the ride to or a friend of theirs, you're always at risk, man. You are always at risk. Now, while I'm in this chat, the very first thing I do is I call legal aid, and I sit on hold for 2.5 hours while I'm talking to them on chat. So during that time, I'm telling them, look, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never done anything like this before in my life. And they keep asking me for my side of the story. Well, how can I give you my side of the story if you're not telling me what happened? You're not giving me any details. You're just giving me a claim and nothing more. I can't do shit. So, but anyway, of course it was a female. that was chatting with me through the chat, and she immediately shut the chat. So to keep it open, I sent another message. I clarified everything as far as I can't answer questions if I don't understand the context, if I don't understand the background. You know, well, hold on. Sorry, security was closing the gate to the loading dock that I'm currently sitting at recording this. I just wanted to make sure no noise interrupts what I'm saying. Anyway, yeah, so the first chick that I'm talking to is a female. Okay, she shuts the chat. Next guy is a guy, and almost immediately he reactivates my account. Now, I found this suspicious, right? You know, like, I go from being on the verge of being deactivated and on the verge of losing my one source of income to all of a sudden, you know, now I'm good to go. I don't get that. So I even said to him, hey, look, man, what changed lifts mine? And this guy comes back and he says, well, you already said you've never done anything like this before. Okay. I don't understand what that means. So, long story short, basically I'm activated. I think this guy was just looking out for another guy, you know, in the sense that he knew this was bullshit, but at the same time, you know, he still needed me to say something so that he could activate me. And I'd already said it with the other person, so it was done. You know, I think he just was like, this person's full of shit. You know, so let's just go ahead and reactivate him. Whereas the female was like, you know what? I don't really give a fuck about our drivers. I don't give a fuck about doing things the right way, so screw it. You know, I'm just gonna leave him in limbo. This whole week I've been shitting a motherfucking brick. And I'm sorry if cursing bothers you, but I have been shitting a fucking brick. I didn't sleep for 3 fucking days, dude. And when I finally did fucking sleep, I ain't ashamed to admit, man, when my head hit the pillow, I fucking broke. Okay, I don't even remember how I got to sleep. I just remember waking up the next day and feeling fucking numb. Okay, and still shitting a fucking brick. So, in the background while all this is going, I still got this debt with Lyft. I'm being told that I'm on the verge of repossession for the car. You know, just basically everything that could go wrong is going wrong. Well, that is until last night. In the meantime that I've been doing this, I've been talking to lawyers. You know, I've been trying to get somebody to help me out, you know, see if she opened up a police report, you know, so that I could go ahead and try to get ahead of this and, you know, start building a case for defense. Because look, when it comes to something like this, you are not innocent until proven guilty. You are guilty until proven innocent. That's how society deems it. There are men that have gone to prison just based on these allegations. There are men that have lost their lives based on these allegations. There are men that will never have another job again just based on allegations. You know, when it comes to something like this, when you catch this allegation, the second you get the label, unfortunately I haven't gotten the label, but the second you get the label, hold on, this is bothering me. Okay, that's not working. Please, please. It's distracting me. Anyway, the second you catch this allegation and you've got the label, that's it, you're done as a man. Nobody will ever hire you again. Nothing. Your reputation, you will never be able to rebuild ever again. Okay? You're done. You really only got one choice left to you. You can either spend the rest of your life trying to make something of yourself and knowing it's never going to happen, or you can take yourself out. And I will tell you right now, where I'm sitting right now, there's a movie theater about 4 stories above me. Okay? And if you go behind the movie theater, you're 4 stories up in the air. And I almost jumped. Didn't, but I almost jumped. Because that's what this allegation is. You know, it's a death sentence. But last night, a couple things happened. First off, it got so busy, I was able to knock off such a significant chunk of my debt that odds are I'm probably going to be able to clear it tonight. And if not tonight, I'll be able to clear the remainder tomorrow. And I have until midnight at the end of the night tomorrow. You know, so Sunday night to clear the debt, keep the car. At the same time, I also just finally got approved for Amazon Flex, which is a much more consistent platform, and drivers are making anywhere from $180 to $240 a day. You know, which is what I used to make on Lyft, you know, before they started turning scummy. Well, let me rephrase that. Before they became even scummier. So that's the first thing. Second thing is I'm at a gas station right down the street from where I live, you know, and if it's this chick, she's in the same jurisdiction. And what happened was I asked the cop, I tell him everything that's going on, I show him the chat history, everything. He says, first off, and we all know this is bullshit. He says, first off, you know, she doesn't have any evidence. You didn't do anything. You know, odds are, even if she does file a report, nothing's gonna happen. I don't buy that for a fucking second. She can file this report and then I'm fucking done. Because either way, it doesn't matter. Maybe legally I don't go to prison, but my reputation is in tatters at that point and I'll never be able to rebuild it. But he did me a favor. He went ahead, ran my ID, checked to see if she opened up a report. She never did. So, it's exactly what I thought it was. This bitch, straight up, just went ahead and made this claim so she could get a free ride. Now, I'm assuming she did it for her boyfriend, because I'm assuming it's this one specific woman. But either way, this is just for a free ride. And this is the fucking problem that I have, though. Like, I'm not trying to look a gift horse in the mouth, but this is the fucking problem that I have. Like, you're weaponizing the absolute worst weapon. This is worse than the nuclear option, alright? This is worse than nukes. Okay? This is like the next generation. You know, whatever that would be. Like fusion nukes or, you know, alien nukes, you know, can wipe out an entire planet nuke. You know, can wipe out an entire solar system nuke. You know, that's what this is. Because there's no fucking recovery from this. Right? And I could understand, I'm not saying I agree with it because I side with men, but I could understand you doing this against a fucking corporate CEO, you doing this against a fucking celebrity, you fucking doing this against some dude making 6 figures. I'm a fucking Lyft driver who's $3,000 in fucking debt and about to be $4,000 in debt, and I'm about to be fucking homeless. What the fuck do you think you're gonna get out of me? Debt? That's about it. That's all I have to my name. Is just fucking debt. You coming after me for this. And for what? So that you could save 13 bucks? I don't know how much they paid, but whatever. So you could save 13 bucks? Go fuck yourself, bitch. Like, seriously. Go fuck yourself. So I tell you what. But, like I said, I'm in a good mood. Second that dude told me that shit, all my stress level went away, dude. Now, in my state, I gotta be on my guard. Because in my state, it can always come back. Okay? There's no statute of limitations on something like this. Okay? So in my state, I could still get fucked even 30 years from now. But, I really do think she was just trying to get a free fucking ride. Well, you got your fucking free ride, but here's the thing. You got your free fucking ride, but here's the thing, man. I'm done. I'm done with fucking women. As a matter of fact, before I even started this video, I had 4 fucking women and a dude passing by because they're all going to the ballroom right by where I live. You know, and that's where this loading dock is at. You know, it's a big shopping center. They have a ballroom. They have a whole bunch of places. I'm not gonna give a shit ton of information, man. Just to try to stay anonymous. But they're passing by and they're about to ask me for help. Fuck you. Hell no. Fuck you. I even said straight up to them, I don't fucking talk to women. Fuck you. And I ain't got a fucking problem with it. I'd much rather get in trouble for fucking discrimination than go to prison based on a false allegation alone. If I do something wrong, hold me accountable. Absolutely. But if I ain't done shit wrong, fuck you. And that's the way I feel about this. So from now on, I'm not giving rides to women unless they're accompanied by a man. We're going to go the Muslim route. Okay? I'm not interacting with you unless there's a man present. I'm not talking to you unless there's a man present. I'm not giving fucking rides to anybody unless there's a fucking man present. Okay? And if I am forced to speak to a woman one-on-one, I'm going to make sure I have recording devices at all times. Right now, all I got is a voice recorder that I can keep up while I'm talking to them. But eventually, when I get myself out of all this bullshit, I'm going to have the meta glasses so that I can record everything. I'm going to have the voice recorder going. I had a smartwatch before I had to pawn that shit. And the beauty of that thing was it had my voice recorder, the app that I use, loaded onto it, so I could record using the watch, and then it would upload to the phone, which means I could use the phone the entire time. It did it separately. It didn't need a connection to the phone in order to record. So yeah, I'm about to turn my entire life into fucking Fort Knox. Fuck this shit. I am never getting fucking married. I am never having fucking kids. I'm going full fucking monk. And if you give me the choice between being with a fucking woman or being around with a fucking woman or chopping my balls and dick off, fuck it. You know what? I got some use out of them when I was in my 20s. I got some use out of them. It's all good. I didn't want kids anyways. Fuck this shit. I'd rather take that than a false allegation. I'd rather have all 4 of my limbs chopped off than take a fucking false allegation. Fuck you. Fuck you for that shit. But like I said, I'm in a good mood. I apologize if I sound like I'm venting, man, but it's been a long fucking week. Okay? Just because of this, and it's not the only thing that I've had to deal with. That being said, a couple other things happened. Like I said, got on Amazon. We about to clear this fucking debt. And last night, I got the best sleep of my fucking life. Dude, I fucking slept for a straight 12 hours, man. And I woke up and I was like, I think I slept off all my stress. It was fucking great, man. Normally, I don't sleep for more than 5 or 6 hours, but that was fucking amazing. Oh, God. I didn't even dream. I just, woo. Yeah. But like I said, so here's the game plan. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I got a sneaking suspicion this is the start of my rise, man. This is the start of my rise. What we gonna do is we're gonna say fuck Lyft from now on. Give me a second. Cigar's going out. This is the game plan. First, so I can get myself taken off the repo list, I've got $140 that I gotta pay off. Alright? Gotta do that by Sunday night, midnight. Okay? Gotta do it. We're gonna knock it out. We're gonna do it. I got this shit. It's gonna happen. I ain't worried. Alright? Second, after I take care of that, starting Monday, to keep the car, I just need 20 rides. Then I'm gonna go spend the rest of the week on fucking Amazon Flex. Okay? They got orders for their shit like $90 for 5 hours worth of work. You know, all I need is 2 of those. I made $180 that day. And I'm willing to bet I probably didn't use up a shit ton of gas either. But, knock that shit out. Cool. 80 hours a week. Okay? Knock out the Lyft rides, and then the following Monday, just pay the balance from what I earned from Amazon. And there you go. And then, by the time Lyft decides, hey, you know, you're no longer allowed to rent with us because you don't actually give rides. You just cover your weekly requirement. Yeah, you're damn right, because you don't fucking protect your drivers, so fuck you. But by the time they get to that point, I'll be able to go somewhere, rent a car, it'll be fine. Okay? This is my rise, man. I ain't gonna fall back into this trap. Yeah. Next thing I'm gonna do is, from now on, every night when I get home, I got 16 books I want to write. Every night when I get home, I'm at least putting an hour into writing, man. You know, if I got writer's block, I guess we're going to sit there for an hour just going, what you're not right about. Yeah, but fuck it, man. But like I said, man, I ain't doing better because life got better. I'm doing better because life broke me down so hard that now I feel like it's building me back up. So, and then, of course, we gonna fucking shave all this shit, dude. We gonna get a fucking haircut. That's the thing I'm looking forward to. That's the first major expenses. I'm gonna go somewhere, okay? I don't give a fuck how expensive it is. I'm gonna go somewhere, and I'm gonna get a haircut, and I'm gonna have a professional beard trim, man, so I can stop looking like I'm homeless. We got some shit, especially since I got this scraggly, patchy fucking Duck Dynasty beard. Like, I mean, hell, if I could fucking grow it out like Gandalf and it'd be full, you know, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. But I mean, like, I got bald spots and shit, you know, so this don't look good at all. But we gonna fucking do it, dude. We gonna fucking come back on top, man. You know, and more than that, I am never gonna be in this motherfucking position again. Never gonna be in this motherfucking position again. And if I'm cursing, man, you gotta understand, I just came from fucking 0 to now I feel like I'm at 1,000, man. I feel amazing right now. You know, why? Because this cop just dropped my stress level down to nothing. Okay? Fucking dealing with all this shit, other shit that I gotta fucking deal with doesn't even fucking come close to the amount of stress that this bitch fucking created for me. Okay? This bitch has the potential to fucking ruin my life to the point where, yeah, I'll tell you what, if something like that ever does happen, I'm out. I'll jump right off that fucking 4-story, fuck it. But we ain't gonna get to that point, because like I said, I'm done. I ain't gonna talk to you unless a man is present. I ain't gonna fucking hang around you unless a man is present. I ain't never gonna be alone with you unless a man is present. Okay? Nothing. Okay? We going the Muslim route. And that's exactly how we're doing it. We going the Muslim route. As far as I'm concerned, you always in violation because you ain't wearing a fucking burqa. And I'm a motherfucking Christian saying this shit, dude. Because fuck this. I ain't fucking having my life ruined over because it was convenient for you. Fuck you. Eat a fucking bag of dicks. But I am in a good mood. I know I don't sound like it, but I am in a good fucking mood, man. That being said, if anybody is watching this, I appreciate you. I'm out.